Level 1, the karter. You are 8 years old. Your father straps you into a go-kart. It's your first time. The track is slick with rain. The engine screams behind your back. It sounds alive. You are terrified. You don't tell anyone. You grip the wheel. Your knuckles turn white. You finish your first lap. It's so slow that older kids lap you twice. Your father doesn't say much. He just asks if you want to go again. Next weekend. You say yes. You haven't even caught your breath yet. You don't know it yet. This one, yes, will consume the next 3 decades of your life. You practice every weekend. For a year straight. You crash constantly. You spin off wet corners. You slam into tire barriers. Your small body bruises for days. You cry after the worst ones. Your father never lets you quit on a crash day. He tells you every driver who mattered crashed first. And never quit. You start winning small club races. You're 10 years old. The trophies are plastic. They're cheap. You treasure them anyway. Other parents start whispering about your talent. You don't understand yet what that whispering will cost. Your mother works 2 jobs. She funds the karting fees. She never complains where you can hear her. You find out years later. She sold her wedding ring. It paid for a season of tires. You wish she had told you. You might have said stop. You probably wouldn't have meant it. Level 2, the junior formula driver. You are 15 years old. You move up to junior formula cars. Open-wheel machines. Real horsepower for the first time. The cockpit swallows you whole. The pedals barely reach your feet. They bolt on extension blocks. Your family relocates. Closer to a racing academy. 3 hours from your childhood home. Your father quits his job. He manages your career full-time now. The financial pressure builds. It sits silently over every dinner. You start training your neck. Formula cars generate brutal G-forces. They can snap an untrained neck sideways in corners. You vomit after your first real qualifying session. The strain alone does it. Nobody warns you how much this sport hurts. You feel it yourself first. A rival driver your age starts beating you. Consistently. On the faster circuits. You study his onboard footage. Hours every night. You're hunting for the half-second he's finding. You find it in his braking points. Later than yours. Sharper than yours dares to be. You start braking later yourself. You crash twice trying his exact point. Then you master it safely. Your team principal notices the improvement. He moves you into a factory-backed program. Sponsorship money starts covering the costs. The ones your family has bled for years to pay. Your father cries alone in the garage. The night the deal is signed. You pretend you didn't see it. Through the gap in the door. Level 3, the Formula 3 driver. You are 17 years old. You graduate into Formula 3. The first real proving ground. Television cameras start catching your name. You leave school entirely. Private tutors squeeze in between test sessions. Your body changes under a strict regimen. It's built to withstand 3 Gs of lateral force. You develop a resting heart rate lower than most professional athletes twice your age. A teammate becomes your closest friend. Long European race weekends. Hotel rooms and paddock motorhomes. You share everything with him, except your actual results. You both know the sport only keeps one of you moving up. He crashes heavily. A wet race in Hungary. You watch the replay from the pit wall. Your stomach in your throat. He survives. A broken collarbone. He misses the rest of the season. You win the race he was supposed to run. You don't feel good about it. Not the way you expected to. Your manager tells you feelings are a luxury. Drivers can't always afford them mid-season. You start believing him. More than you want to admit. Scouts from Formula 2 start appearing. Sunglasses, Clipboards. Watching from behind the fence, you know exactly what they're calculating. You start driving like every lap is an audition, because it genuinely is one. Level 4, the Formula 2 driver. You are 19 years old. Formula 2 cars hit numbers that terrify you. The first time you see them on a data screen. Speeds your karting years never prepared you for. You crash badly during preseason testing, a circuit known for punishing small mistakes. The car disintegrates around the survival cell. It's built specifically to keep you alive inside it. You walk away with bruised ribs. The wreckage looks like nobody should have survived it. Your mother gets the call before you can make it yourself. Her voice shakes for weeks after. Every time you leave for another race weekend, you start understanding fear differently now. Not something to defeat, something to manage carefully. Every single lap. A veteran mechanic pulls you aside one evening. 15 years on the team. He tells you the fear never fully disappears. Not for any driver who survives long enough. He tells you it just becomes something you learn to drive alongside, instead of against. You start finishing on podiums. Regularly. By mid-season, Formula One team representatives start requesting private meetings. Your management team negotiates terms. You barely understand them yourself. Clauses about image rights. Sponsor obligations stretching decades into an uncertain future. You sign your name anyway. The alternative is watching someone else drive the car you sacrificed a childhood chasing. Level 5, the Formula One rookie. You are 21 years old. You sit in a Formula One car for your first race weekend. Engines behind you vibrate inside your chest. The paddock feels like a different universe entirely. Photographers document your every movement now. Images that will exist permanently, regardless of how this season unfolds. Your teammate is a veteran with multiple podiums. He treats you with a courteous distance. It never quite becomes real friendship. You understand why within the first month, you're both fighting for the same limited resources inside the same garage. A crash during your third race weekend leaves you shaken, physically unharmed. Wreckage that would have killed drivers from earlier decades. Safety innovations save your life that day. You don't fully process it at the time. Your first points finish arrives at a European circuit. Your family watches from a hospitality suite, paid for entirely by sponsorship obligations attached to your name now. Your father cries again, openly this time, no longer hiding it behind garage doors. You realize slowly, you've become the exact thing this childhood sacrifice was always aimed toward. The realization feels different than you expected, heavier somehow. Weight instead of pure celebration. Level 6, the race winner. You are 24 years old. Your first Formula One victory arrives. A circuit you've dreamed about since childhood. The race unfolds too fast to feel like any dream you imagined. You manage tire degradation with mathematical precision. 50-plus laps. Defending position from a faster car the entire final stint. The checkered flag registers almost as disbelief before it registers as joy. Champagne sprays across the podium. Your anthem plays for a stadium of strangers. They somehow feel like family in that suspended moment. Your management team fields calls immediately. Rival teams. Contracts worth more than your entire childhood family income. Across several combined decades. You start understanding fame differently now. Recognized in airports by people who know your face. Nothing real about who you actually are underneath the helmet. A serious relationship starts fracturing. Since Formula 2, the pressure of 20-plus countries a year. Almost no genuine downtime. She tells you quietly one night. She feels like she's dating a schedule, not an actual person. You don't have a good answer for her. You suspect she might be entirely correct. The relationship ends within months. Quietly. Without the drama tabloids want to manufacture. You throw yourself into racing even harder afterward. Partly passion. Partly because racing is simpler than examining what you traded away to get here. Level 7, the championship contender. You are 27 years old. You fight for the World Championship for the first time. A brutal 20-race season, March through December, without meaningful rest. Every point matters now. Even minor qualifying sessions become genuinely stressful ordeals. Your rival for the title is someone you've known since junior formula days. He used to share hotel rooms with you. Cost-conscious early seasons. The friendship cools under championship pressure, replaced by a professional respect. It curdles into something sharper during on-track battles. A collision between your two cars sparks controversy. Global motorsport media. Weeks of coverage. You receive death threats. Anonymous accounts. Specific enough about your family that security experts get quietly involved. You stop reading your own mentions entirely. Your training intensifies. Unprecedented levels. Sports psychologists manage stress responses most people never experience in their lifetimes. The championship comes down to the final race. Mere points separating 2 years of effort. You lose the title. By a margin smaller than a single pit stop's worth of time. You don't cry in public. You cry alone in a hotel bathroom at 3 in the morning instead. Quietly enough that nobody in the adjacent rooms could hear you. Level 8, the World Champion. You are 29 years old. You win the World Championship on your second serious attempt. 2 races still remaining on the calendar. The realization arrives strangely quiet. Compared to how loud you always imagine this moment, your name enters the record books permanently, alongside legends you grew up watching on television. As a child who could barely reach the go-kart pedals. Endorsement offers multiply beyond anything your team can process. Watches, airlines, beverage companies, all wanting your face attached to their brand. You buy your parents a house finally. Something spacious. A stark contrast to the cramped apartment they sacrificed within. Your father walks through the empty rooms alone, before the moving trucks even arrive, crying again in private, the way he apparently always has. You start noticing your own body differently now. Small warning signs. Your medical staff tracks them obsessively. Every race weekend. Reaction times that used to feel automatic now require conscious, deliberate effort. Specific fatigue-heavy stretches of longer weekends. You're still young by any normal standard. Already old by the standards of a sport demanding absolute peak reflexes. You start wondering privately, how many more seasons can your body actually sustain this? Level 9, the Veteran. You are 34 years old. You've raced in Formula One for 13 full seasons, longer than most drivers' careers ever last in this unforgiving sport. Younger drivers entering the grid grew up watching your races. They cite you as their primary inspiration. In press conferences you now sit through as the veteran presence. Your reaction times have slowed. Measurable margins. According to the team's own medical data, you compensate with experience. Racecraft that raw talent alone can't replicate. A serious crash during practice leaves you with a concussion, severe enough that doctors recommend retirement outright. You ignore the advice completely. You return to competition within 6 weeks. Your third marriage begins showing the same strain, the one that ended your first 2. Your children from an earlier marriage barely recognize you anymore. During the brief periods you're actually home, between demanding race weekends, you miss school events, missed recitals, missed ordinary Tuesday dinners. They add up silently across years of racing. A former teammate from your championship years dies suddenly. Cardiac issues. Doctors trace it back to accumulated stress. Decades at this elite level. You attend his funeral in a suit. It feels heavier than any racing overalls you've ever worn. You start understanding uncomfortably and completely what this sport genuinely costs. Beyond the physical risks you always focused on. Level 10, the retired champion. You are 42 years old. You retire from Formula One. 17 complete seasons. Championships and records that will likely stand unbroken for years. The final race weekend overwhelms you. An emotion you didn't fully anticipate feeling. Fans hold up signs bearing your name. Circuits spanning multiple different countries. That emotional farewell tour. You cry during your retirement speech, unable to finish several sentences. Your voice breaking mid-thought. You settle into an ordinary house in the countryside, deliberately far from any circuit, any paddock. Your body aches constantly now. Decades of accumulated G-forces. Stress absorbed silently across your entire career. You watch races now exclusively from home. Your hands still twitch unconsciously during tense corners. Old muscle memory. It persists regardless of your actual retirement. Your children visit more often now. Grown adults themselves. Your schedule finally genuinely belongs to yourself. For the first time in decades, you attend their milestones fully present. No team radio interrupting quiet family moments anymore. You think often about the 8-year-old boy, strapped nervously into a go-kart for the very first time, utterly unaware of everything that simple yes would eventually cost. Somewhere tonight, another 8-year-old sits nervously in a go-kart, for the very first time, gripping the wheel with exactly the same white-knuckled fear you once felt. He doesn't know yet what he's agreeing to. He will learn exactly the way you learned, one hard-won lap at a time. The cycle continues.